I am off to find wood from my mom's maple wood property, sanding, chiseling out every rotten area, trying to make a perfect circle, and cleaning as much as I can all the rotten or loose areas, and then putting some epoxy resin over the wood to seal all the air pockets. Now pouring the glitter, beautiful blue glitter, right in between all of the cracks. Um, Torching out the bubbles was fun. I admit this can be a messy process. It's very sticky. That's why I'm wearing gloves. I had to do a lot of customizations with the router sled and the edges just to make this work. I am taking about a quarter inches off of the top and flattening it by sanding it down. And here's where I can get very creative by, I didn't even think to do this, but you know, as you do these projects, you just kind of have ideas along the way, and so it just evolves. It's never how I imagined it. Here you can see how beautiful the oil is. The Danish oil is soaking into the wood here. And I wanted to accentuate or just add more details into the wood. I think it, you know, just adds a little bit of depth and 3D-ness. I wanted to emulate maybe the Grand Canyon because I just visited it and it was gorgeous. So if you really zoom in, it does kind of mimic the Grand Canyon, although the river there is not as blue. And the blue, it comes from Minnesota rivers, right? And just that wood is from my mom's property. Here's where it gets really fun. I love pouring epoxy resin. Um, this final pour is a half-inch clear coat over the entire area. I wanted a glass-like transparent sheen so that we can see the 3D-ness of the canyons and the art details I did earlier. I think we achieved that. But the magic of the torch or heat gun just takes all that bubbles away. It's just so awesome to see that shininess come through. These micro bubbles will surface to the top eventually and get popped. This is probably the most fun part, is taking out the bubbles.
That's how we pop the bubbles.
Just fine-tuning some details on the edges with a chisel. And now we are ready to mix some epoxy resin.
2 hours. It doesn't really each.
This is really fun. This epoxy resin is so fun to work with. I can't say enough about it. It looks intimidating, but it's just liquid. And here you see I'm pouring what's called a dirty pour to make these random color schemes that you will eventually pour into the that I will pour into the back of the clock.
Hold on.
And just again, it is really just random, and that's the best way
Like marble.
to do this, to not think too much and just pour. This is the backside. It's gotten 3 or 4 or 5 layers, and it just looks so ugly in the back that I had to put another more beautiful layer to hide the ugliness. And I'm glad I did that because it looked just gorgeous.
Cool.
It's this coffee golden marble.
I redid it. I put in more swirls and veins.
And I regretted redoing it. I
might have overdid it.
Yes, I did. It looks nice, but it's not as natural. This is the premiere use of my new drill press, a Christmas gift from a family member. I just love the precision, the laser guided precision. That Forstner bit just goes down like butter, you know, very clean through the... And now I am filling the holes I just made with alternating blue and gold resin. Um, and just sanding. Wow, sanding is quite the chore. Here I did a bevel, 45-degree bevel with my router. Had to custom the support for it. On the back side here, I routed out a place for the clock mechanism and then drilled a hole right in the middle. The finish is the most important when working on these epoxy resin projects. It's a lot of sanding, a lot, starting with 180 grit, 320, 500, 800, 1000. I use water to wet sand once I get into the kilo range. Right here is the 10,000 grit. It's polishing just beautifully with water, of course. Here we are getting ready to do the final polish. Used 2 or 3 different pads, a softer one at first, and then here we are doing a oh, here I had to redo the whole darn thing. Ooh, about 10 months later, brought it to Arkansas and decided to finish it with another very clean polish. This one was a lot of work, but I really enjoyed it. I made it with a lot of love, a lot of patience, art. It's therapeutic. Finally, done with a glass sheen.
I made this really quick last night. Final look. Made a stand for it.